Jim, do you think a few minutes of poor defending's cost us tonight?
Yeah, I mean, look, when we analyse all 4 goals, I think we'll see that every one of them was avoidable. But I think the most disappointing factor for me was the way that we started the game. Falkirk pressed us aggressively like we knew they would. But every pass in that opening 3 or 4 minutes was really sloppy, and it wasn't like us. We made really poor decisions. We were pressed back in our own 18-yard box for the first 3 or 4 minutes, and our decision making was really disappointing. We talk about mixing our game up. We're capable of going that little bit longer and stretching the opposition and maybe just putting a ball in behind their backline the odd time just to get us up the park, and we didn't do that in the opening 3 or 4 minutes, and ultimately found ourselves going a goal behind. How we went in at half time 2-1 in front, I do not know. Obviously the keeper spilled one from Cudjoe and a really good quality finish from Tony for the second one, but there's no way in the world we deserve to be leading at half time. I thought Falkirk were the better team, and I thought they were the better team all night, to be honest. I don't want to be over critical of my players, but I thought we were second best in every department tonight, and it's the first time I've had to say that all season. So extremely disappointing. Don't want to take anything away from Falkirk's performance by speaking about how poor we were on the evening. We got what we deserved. Falkirk deserved to go through to the next round, and we wish them all the best.
When we did have that lead, we looked relatively comfortable at the start of the second half. Then it's a case that you switch off from a throw-in, they get a rebound, and they get their tails up.
The third and fourth goal, I think, are really, really poor from us. The throw in on the far side, the shape of the back four is all over the place, and the fourth one is a mistake. Unfortunately, Big Holty, who's been outstanding for us all season, wasn't aware that the Falkirk player was behind him, and it's a gift. These things can happen. I suppose the only positive thing I could say is that if we are ever going to have a performance like this one tonight, then now is probably as good a time for that to happen. We took the competition seriously. Obviously, we're missing some key players tonight, but that's no excuse. I believed in the players that were out there on the pitch tonight, that we were good enough to go and get the job done. But Falkirk just were better, and that's the bottom line.
As you say, the senior players were kept ticking over with some minutes. We saw Louis Moult coming on. He came the closest to getting us back into the game, hitting the bar, but it just kind of summed up the night that it never crashed down over the line.
We obviously made changes that we had to make. Declan Gallagher, wasn't fit enough to play in the game tonight. Obviously, Kai Fotheringham is away with the 21s on international duty. I could stand here and make excuses, but I think that would be, disrespectful of me to talk about the players that we were missing. The likes of Docherty and that. The players that were selected tonight, I believe, are good enough to go and win that game. And it was a similar group to that played Falkirk in the League Cup in the early part of the season and won here. But you just can't legislate for coming out of the blocks as slowly and as sloppily as what we did in the opening 4 or 5 minutes. You give yourself a mountain to climb by going a goal behind, and we just didn't do the basics well enough on the night. So we're deeply disappointed, and we're sorry to the fans that obviously travelled in good numbers again. It was a quarter final of a cup competition, and we wanted to go all the way. Extremely disappointing for it to put an end to that great unbeaten run that we were on. But we have to make sure that the unbeaten run continues in the league. And next week we've got an opportunity to put things right down in Dumfries in the Scottish Cup, and that is a cup competition that we really do want to go and have a good run in.
Yeah, you mentioned that game next week. It'll be interesting for you as a manager to see how your players react after that, given it's been so long since we have been defeated.
Yeah, well, I just spoke about that in the dressing room with the players. We haven't had to face a great deal of adversity up to now this season, and you do find out a lot about people after situations like tonight. So, I know they're a good group of boys. There's lots of strong characters in there. I think we need to put tonight down to a bad night. There's nobody, I don't think, across the board tonight that I could give pass marks to. You can afford to maybe carry one or two who are not playing to the levels that they're capable of, but tonight, just wasn't good enough from any of us, myself included. And we have to take full accountability for that and make sure that we don't ever, between now and the end of the season, have a repeat performance.